Hello internet friends. In this video I am putting together the firewall, finally. This is something I've been putting off for a couple weeks just because I don't know what I'm doing. Yeah, and as a human, right, procrastination is something we do when we're not sure what we're doing. Anyway, one of the steps here is to seal the top firewall top with the left and right sides with some kind of sealant. The plans recommend that you use fuel sealer. I am using 3M Fire Barrier 2000. Again, on the Vans forums, there's a pretty extensive debate, and someone actually went through and tested like 5 different kinds of sealer, and this seemed like it was the easiest to use. And if you're looking right here, like I don't have to mix 2 parts of anything. I just squeeze that right out of the tube. It was actually super simple to use. So I'm going to recommend 3M Firewall Barrier 2000, which has nothing to do with Mystery Science Theater 3000, even though it sounds like it does. Anyway, it's pretty clean. I thought it was going to make a giant mess, which is why I have a piece of cardboard laid down, but actually it made no mess at all. So I learned something today. Today was also a lesson in making sure you read the plans accurately, because as you're about to see, I'm realizing, oops, in a couple places where it says do not rivet, yeah, right there where I'm looking, I realized I riveted, which means I will not be able to attach this firewall tunnel until I draw out these 2 rivets. So my bad. When it says don't do this on both sides, so that's why, because it shows you one side and then it says don't do this on both sides. So make sure that on both sides of the firewall, you tape off where it says do not rivet, because otherwise you will be me in the future. Okay, so now that I have clecoed the sides, and actually if you read the plans it says don't cleco the top, because that's where you're about to cleco the firewall center. But of course, do I read the plans in advance? No. Yeah, so don't be me. Read the plans in advance and understand them. Otherwise, well, I mean, they're clecos. It's not a big deal. You can just take them out. And that's exactly why I didn't care. So one of these I tried to rivet with the squeezer, which was fine. And that's about as far as you can go, is one. And it says... so you also need to be careful here, because it looks like you should rivet all of them. And no, you should only rivet 5 of the lower rivets, and not the other 2 rivets, just the 5 lowers. And then I screwed one up and drilled it out, and everything's okay. Again, my favorite rivet set is this flush mount mushroom shroud. I forget what this thing's called. If you look in previous videos, I put a link. Okay, so the next step is to basically do the same thing to the firewall center and put some firewall sealant and cleco the center on. Now, one thing that I noticed, and I thought this was a gotcha until I read ahead in the plans, but I didn't realize that until, I started looking at the next steps, which is an important skill to have, right? So reading ahead in the plans is important. But so anyway, one of the things that the plans doesn't tell you is that there's a little tab on top of the firewall center, and it's not recessed. Recessed isn't the right word, but it's bent, so it looks like it goes underneath something. Yeah, so it goes underneath the firewall top, and you'll see that in the end of the video. So right now I clecoed it on top, and I'm like, no, that doesn't look quite right. So if we look head in the plans, this is section 27. If we look at 28-6, if you look at the top there where it says F-01401C, the fuselage centerpiece, you'll see that it's tucked in underneath the fuselage top there. So just in case you're wondering, or if you're also building a 14 and following along and are wondering why this isn't fitting correctly or doesn't look like it fits correctly, yeah, it's supposed to go in between, which they really should have had you do or given you a heads up when you did the fuselage top, because we could have done this at the same time that we applied the sealant there. Instead, I just had to push it up in between and kind of out of the way, and so obviously there's no sealant there, which I'm gonna have to add some later. Or I could have added it right now, but I didn't realize what I was doing. So anyway, again, see how easy that was to apply. I didn't have to mix two parts. I just squeezed it out of the tube, and it was super easy to work with. Alright, if you want to join our Vans RV Slack group, the link is in the description. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next video.